This is part 5 of modeling a Sci-Fi plant incubator, and in the previous 4 videos I modeled all of the parts that I think I'm going to need. Right now I've just got selected the pieces that I want to texture in sort of a white material, and I've decided that I'm going to just work on this part separately from the other regions, which I'm going to do in black and glass and have a plant. I think it's going to make it a little bit easier for me, and yeah, so I'm going to do this on camera. Normally you would probably do it off camera and just take your time and do it, and I'm not that proficient with Substance Painter, which is what I'm going to be using anyhow, so I'll just make it a little bit easier, I think. The image that I'm using, of course, is this one by Max, and the texturing that I'm going to do is not obviously going to be exactly the same as him, and I might take some shortcuts and do some simpler stuff. I don't have all that much time, and I don't have access to some of the resources that he may have used, some of the normal or alpha detail, some of the potential decals, and I can't always tell. All right, so I'm going to be working on the white stuff and just doing some stuff. All right, so I've already UV unwrapped this, and I'm going to now export this and bring it into Substance Painter. So you just select everything that you want after it's UV unwrapped, go File, Export, FBX, and I want selected objects, and I'm just going to give this a name. So and I'll call this part 5. I'll export that, and we'll bring that into Substance Painter. And here is my model in Substance Painter. All right, first thing that I need to do is bake the maps. So I'll come down here, bake mesh maps. I'm going to choose 2K, uncheck ID, and I'm going to go ahead. All right, with that done, I'm just going to have a look around my model and see if it looks okay. I guess it does. And so we're going to get started. All right, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to choose white. The reason there's black here is because in Blender I assigned some regions that will have black material on there, but this is mostly the white. So I have a default material here. I'm just going to go ahead and delete it. And now I need to put a base material on here. I'm going to use this one here. Okay, this is just, that might be too shiny for what I want. It's just one of these materials that I've adjusted a little bit. That's cool. Let's try that one. Okay, I got rid of some of that. So I'm going to start with that as my main material. So I'll call that base material. I'll just call it base. Okay, cool. So I'm going to be adding some normal details and some text. Maybe I'll do the text first. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and create another fill layer, and I'm going to do a black mask, and we'll start with coming over here and just alt click on color, so it's just color that I'm dealing with, and I'm going to choose some color, something like that, and we'll see what that looks like. So now we need some text. So as we look at this, of course I'm looking at the white stuff, so I'm looking at this. I'm going to have created that in a graphics program. You can do it in Photoshop or GIMP. In my case, as some of you know, I tend to use Flash. So I've created this text, and just to talk a little bit about doing that, I'll just show you some of that. generally what you want to do is you want to have a square image, so 1024 by 1024, or 800 by 800, doesn't matter too much, but you want the background to be black, so it's got to be a square image. Okay, so let's say you're doing it in Photoshop, and I click on my text tool and I would make that white, and I'm using this font nasalization, so let's say Plant Incubator, whatever, you would do whatever your text is, center it up nicely, make it nice and big, and you'd save that out as a PNG. All right, and then you bring that in. So I'm going to see if I have that available to me somewhere. In my alphas, I may have to import that. Yeah, I think I have to. All right, so let's do that. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to choose Add Resource, and then I'm going to navigate to where I've got that saved, and I've got a few that I'm going to use. All right, I've got that in Labels and Decals. I'm going to come down here to Plant Lab. This is the one here. Okay, and I click on that, open, and then I'm going to choose Alpha. I'm going to define it as an alpha, and I'm going to import that to my project. So when I save this, I can come back to it. All right, and you can see that it's right there. Okay, now I'm going to switch to an orthographic view and hold down Shift and Alt, I guess that was, and I'm going to zoom in here, and just let's have a look at where that's going to go. So that's going to go above this piece here, and that's what I've got right there. Okay, so let's come back to the layer. I've got color on only, so I'm going to click on my black mask and double click there, and you can see something in my circle. I'm going to press Control and right mouse button and increase the size, and let's just try stamping that down. And oh, that's that one. Is that the right one? I think that's the one that goes over here. Let's see. Yeah, that's this one I chose. Okay, fine. Let's do that, and let's come over here. And that's a pretty small one. I don't want it too small, so let's say I stick that there. I've got Plant Incubator High Tech Industry. Does it look a little bit like this? This one's a little sharper, but I think that's going to be okay for demonstration purposes. So I've got that. Now, let me see if I can get the other one, and I believe I can. I'm going to import another alpha. Takes me back to the same directory, and this one is ID something. All right, so again, I just made it in Flash, HI. There it is. I think that's it. Let's try that one. I'll define that as an alpha. I'll save it to my project. And there it is. I'm going to double click that. I believe that's the one. So I'm going to come over here, increase the size. Let's do a test here. Okay, so it comes from about here and stretches to near there. I think that's probably okay. Alright, so I've got some text. I can come back here if I really wanted to, and I could click on height as well, and I could drop this down just a tiny bit to have it come in, and I might do that. I think it might look a little bit better. I'm going to go ahead and save this. All right, cool. So I think what I will do is let's label this as text, and let's have a look at what other text we need to put on. So again, I'm looking at just the white region here. Scroll down to the bottom. I've got this one, Plant Incubator ID 607 PL5. And then I've got this little text here. Let's see if I've created some text for that. Now, by the way, I can click on project and that will show me what my maps are, and the alphas that I've used just for this project. So you see I've got this ID one and I've got this Plant Lab one there, so I can leave it there. I'll be coming back to that though. Let's see. I believe it's this one. Define it as an alpha. Let's try this. No, that's not the one. There it is. Okay. And I'll do this on the same layer using the same properties. Okay, so where's that one going to go? It's going to go a little bit above this. Let's just put it down here and think about this. I'm not certain about that indent, so I could do this on another layer if I wanted to. So just comes in just a little bit. We could do it something like that, maybe a little smaller. All right, so what we could do is, how about, let's just duplicate this layer, and I'll just get rid of the height. Just keep that. And actually, I better clear this mask. Okay, so so there's no other text on there. So if I hide that, there should be no other text. Okay, bring that back, and just on this layer here. If I just wanted the text and not to have it indented. All right, it's a little hard to tell how far it should go. This can be moved. I'm not going to get into how you do that, but you just put a transform filter on there, and then you can move the text. But maybe that's okay, or maybe I'll just make it a little bit smaller, just to be sure. And I can have that like that. All right. Is there any other text that I'm missing? I mean, there's text on these things, on the panels. I'm not going to worry about that right now, and I'm not sure how much of that I'm going to do. So I've got the main one, I've got that, and I've got the text below. All right, so far so good. Let's save that, and we're going to move on. Maybe I'll make a folder, and I'll call this text, just to stay organized. Drag these in. Okay, so we're going to move on. I'm going to draw some of these lines here. Okay, and let's give that a go. So I'm going to create another fill layer and then a black mask. Okay, and I'm going to draw the black lines. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to zoom into there, and on my main layer I'm going to choose. Now I could just alt click on height and do this with height. I think I'm going to use color as well and make this like a dark, almost a black. Drop the height a little bit and come back to here. And just make sure that I've got a hard brush on, and just scale this way down. I think I'm going to use an actual value of 0.2. And here's what I'm thinking. Let's click here, hold Shift and Control. Okay, I think that's going to be a little bit too wide, so I'm going to actually go for 0.15. Let's try that. And I'm going to click and hold down Shift and Control. And that's basically what I'm going to be doing. All right, so I'm going to do that and come around here, and I'll try to get this kind of right in the middle. It's not going to be perfect. You just do it repeatedly till you get what you want. Oops. I'll do that. And I'll come around to the back. I'm not going to do any renders from the back. I don't think. Maybe from the angle. So. That one. Okay, that worked out pretty well. Now for this part here, it's probably better to do it on the UVs, because if I do it from here and come down, you'll see that it'll go over that thing. So at this point, let me just check. I've done that. So I'm going to want one here and one there. And I'm also going to do stuff on the bottom. So at this point, I'm going to switch over here to 2D, 3D. And you can see my lines in there. And I'm going to draw on here. Okay, so it's going under, so that's good. I just need to fix this up. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, so I've got my lines there. Now we'll come down here. I think I'll switch back to 3D view for this. For some of it. And let's see if I come down here how I like that. That's not bad. Do. Okay. And same thing on the other side there. Okay, last one. Again, that's, yeah, maybe a little bit over. Like that. All right, now save that. I'm going to press the tab key, F key to frame it, and have a look at this. You can come over here click here and scroll down and activate temporal anti-aliasing. It'll just look a little nicer. And I'm just going to choose a color profile. That actually looks okay. I also like this this one here. Just sort of sometimes just to get a emotional sort of feeling of what this is like. I like to do it like that. And then just have a look at it and see if it's starting to look like what I want it to be. And I think it is, okay? I'm not doing anything earth-shattering here at all. Okay, so I'll come out of that. I'll save that for later. Make sure I'm saved. So this is lines. I might put all that stuff in the folders later. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do these little things. That'll add a little bit of detail, sort of little pieces that would hold the panels together. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to, I might do another layer. Some people do paint layers here. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to do this on another layer. All right, so I'll come in here. I'm going to use color and height, and I'll make this pretty much close to black. I'll drop this down a ways, and I am ready to go. And look at this. I'll zoom in, adjust the light so I can see. And I'm just going to do some stuff. I just want to see what I need. So I'm going to just do 2, sort of around where this top panel is, and then, you know, sort of halfway in between. So for that, I'm going to need an alpha. So let's see what I want to use, just like a square, essentially. So I'll type SQ, probably this one. Come to the layer here, properties. Where am I? And let's just see, just hardness. Okay, so that's probably not what I want to use. Let's see if I choose this one. Yeah, I can do hardness. Let's squeeze. Let's see what this looks like. Let's increase the size. Just a quick test. Oh yeah, it's sharp enough. Okay, so let's do, like, they're pretty small, right, these things. Okay, so again, there's one like around here. Let's just see if that's what I want. You know, it's not exactly the same as these. If you zoom in on these, it looks like they actually pinch and stuff. Max has done a bit more work than I'm going to do here, but so it'd be like that. And where's the other one? Somewhere around there. My positioning is a bit different, but I'm just going to do it. So I'm just going to go around and place these ones equidistant around that thing, and then one up near the top. So just do your thing. I guess there is one. And on here, it's probably just 2, right? 2 and 2. So just adding this little simple detail. Save that. Let's have a quick look. I think that's what I wanted to do. That's probably okay. All right, so at that point, I'm going to go full screen again. I have to frame it, and I'm going to click this on again, and we'll have another quick look at this. With that bit of extra detail on there. Hopefully it looks okay. So already it's starting to look a little machine-like. All right, nice. I think what I'm going to work on next is these areas which are sort of cut away. Now, underneath a lot of this stuff is this material. And so the way that I've done this is underneath here is just black. It's not a material. To put another material, I would have to make a mask and paint that material in. And I can do that, but for the time being, I may just make them black. And I may leave it at that, because it does take a lot of work to do this stuff, and I'm not sure how much more time I want to spend on this with you. So I'm just going to turn that stuff off for now. And we'll come back and have a look at this and see how we can do that anyhow. I can still come back here and I can uncheck the color and just have the alphas there. And then I can export these and re-import them as a normal and do that, but I'm not sure that I want to do that. So I'm going to call these black squares. I'm just going to leave them like that for now. I'm going to create another layer, black mask. I'll go for color and height and do the same thing. I could be duplicating and I could duplicate the layer, clear the mask, and use the same parameters. But all right, let's see what I want to do here now. These look a little bit like a rounded rectangle or a rectangle with a little notch. So, I mean, I could look for that, but for our purposes, I may just use this, and we'll see how this could look. This is what I'm getting at here. So I may not like that effect too much. Let's see what this guy can do for us. No. Oops. Let's see. Smaller than that. I may be going for that. That's what I think I'm going to do. Okay, so where else do I need that? I use it down there. There's nowhere else on here. Okay, so I need two of those near the bottom. One sort of in the middle of this area before it dips, and the other one a little bit pushed over. Okay, let's save that. Let's head down. And that is what I'm getting, and that's what I'm going for. Okay, let's save that. Click on here. Let's have a look at this. Okay, so that's what we get so far. So once again, I just have black under here instead of a material, and you know, we can do whatever we really need to. Yeah. All right. Black cutouts. I'll put all of this in a folder later. Now, what do we want to do that's reasonable to get done? Let's just move on and do a few other things here, a couple of other notches there. Okay, so that this doesn't go on forever. We get the basic stuff going down here. So for example, we could do some kind of a rectangular cut there, and then another piece on there that comes out painted a different material. So let's just have a look at that. So if we come back to this thing here, what are we talking about, and where are those up here? Okay, so we're gonna work on this part. Maybe I'll get that later, and this part. I got a few more things to do here. What am I trying to do here? So what am I looking at? I'm looking at just these four things here. And are they on? They're probably on the back. So this. Okay. So let's just let's see. I got black cutouts. So let's come down here and see where that's gonna go. That's gonna go like kind of in line with that thing. So like, let's say I made it a bit bigger. Let's say if I did that, what that would look like. What if I just put those there? I may not even do them on the back. But I probably should. No, I'm not going to do them on the back right now. Because maybe this stuff's on the back as well. So, let's say I had that there. And then, let's just go up to here. That's black cutouts. Let's save that. Let's create another layer with black mask. And let's make this one. What if we do this? What if we do height? Bring the height up. And I can put a material in there too. Let's try it just like that for the moment. right shape, but I just want to get an idea here. That's black. Okay. Let's give it a color just so I can see it. It's obviously not going to be there, so let's go back to you. And let's put that in there for now. So I got that in there, all right. And what I could do is I could come into here. I could just do that. No, I could make it look sort of metal. So let's come back out here, frame that up, and have a look over here. So that's what I'm coming up with for the time being. There's other alpha normal details to put on this, but let's leave it at that for now and come back and do that next time.